Hello, and welcome back to the She Reigns podcast, episode number 2. Today, and I have my notes, y'all, because I can't read all this stuff, but whatever the case. Today is New Year, same me, just more grace. Setting realistic goals. Setting realistic goals. We have to work on setting goals for ourselves that we know we can achieve. First off, I'm Shanika. I'm your host of the She Reigns podcast. And this podcast is all about learning how to live in the midst of chaos while keeping your crown together. All right. So I created this podcast because I have a voice and I wanted to share with you all some of my thoughts and my feelings on being a woman, being a mother, and being able to adjust amidst the chaos. Now, chaos is not always about your life coming down in shambles. It's just about life, because life is, and will be hard. And we have to learn how to maneuver ourselves in the midst of all that life offers and all that life will bring to us, for us, and through us. So, by now, you may not have already set your New Year's resolution. If you do those things, and this is for you. If not, hey, still listen, because guess what? It is still important that you know about this stuff. So, ditching the new year, new me pressure. And I touched on that some last week, how we already have our purpose within ourselves. But every year, we always have people, new year, new me, I'm starting things over, blah, 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 blah. We have to learn how to first love who we are. We have to first love who we are. Now, yes, we might have some imperfections we want to perfect. We might have things about ourselves we don't like necessarily, but we have to still love who we are. I'll talk about myself for a minute. I am a fast talker. I have always been a fast talker. I remember in church, my grandmother, she would sit in the front row and she would do this with her hand to get me to slow down. And it's something that I have always had my whole life. I have talked to myself while I'm talking and say, slow down. I speed up. And so I have learned how to embrace that. And it's nothing I like necessarily, because sometimes my words are all blah, blah, because you miss what I'm trying to say. However, it's a part of who I am. I embrace it. And I have learned how to deal or how to cope with what I cannot change, because that's all a part of who I am. And if that portion was taken from me, I don't know. So we have to learn how to love who we are. And that is so important, especially in this time where we have everyone on social media. We have everyone doing, showing how to do your makeup, how to dress, This world is full of comparisons. You may not agree with that. You may not see it. But when we have so many people's opinions and thoughts coming into our heads, it's very, very important to know who you are, know whose you are, and to love yourself, and to determine if what is being shared is something that can fit into your life where you are currently. We have to be sure that as we digest information, we have to look at it and determine if it can be applied to our life where we are currently. So, when we set goals for ourselves, we have to be sure they're rooted in self-love and balance, not for perfection. Whatever goals we set for ourselves have to be rooted in self-love and balance, not perfection. So, what are some goals that are realistic that you have set for yourself? Now, I'll be the first to admit I've set goals and crashed and burned, okay? But setting goals gives us something to work towards. Now, I have never been a runner. I am not a runner. However, in my 9 to 5 job, I work with students. I'm a school counselor, and we have a team that's called Run Hard. And so every Tuesday and Thursday, we were outside running hard. And I'm thinking, Shanika, why are you out here, girl? You ain't a runner. What you doing? But I'm doing it, okay? And so then the group that I'm with, they decided to run a race. And I'm thinking, who running? Shanika ain't running. I'm not running. And it was a challenge that was presented to me forcefully, might I add, because they even signed me up, even down to the portion of just paying for the race. So I did it. And so then it became a goal of mine to actually run the race and do good in the race. You know, my family came out to support me. And so by accident, that was a goal of mine. I finished the 5K race, did a good job. Now, the actual race for the team of kids we're working with was coming up soon as well. So therefore, that was another goal that I had to set for myself. Realistically, I could do it because I had been running before. I was timing myself, trying to improve upon my time. I was running here in my neighborhood, working out, exercising. So therefore, I was able to reach the goal of running not one, but 2 races in a matter of about 2 weeks, kind of back to back. So whenever we set a goal, it has to be rooted in self-love and balance and not perfection. I love myself. I want to improve upon my health and lose weight. And so that was what I set for myself. Now, by all means, I'm not perfect. I don't run the whole time. I run, walk. But guess what? I finished the race. But we have to learn how to set goals that are realistic. Now, had I not been practicing every Tuesday and Thursday after school with the kids and going to the gym, working out somewhat, I wouldn't be able to run that race. You cannot say I'm going from sitting on my couch to running in a month. Unless you're doing the app, the Couch to Run app helping you do that. But if you're not doing anything, how can you expect to achieve a goal? So whatever goal you're setting or have set for yourself this year, let it be something that's realistic, but also rooted in self-love, balance, and not perfection. Yes, we're going to make mistakes. We're going to mess up. But we have to understand that's life. That's a part of what happens. And we still have to keep on going and going. And we have to also, we should always work on ways to prioritize our wellness and peace in 2026. Wellness and peace will be prioritized, at least for me, in 2026. Now, how are we doing that? That's on you. But I need to improve for me things to help me become with my well-being as far as self-care, taking time for Shanika, not trying to do all and be all for everyone, and peace. Peace is so underrated. And you have to ask yourself, where can I find peace? Where is my most peaceful time spent? How am I obtaining this peace? It can be in your home. It can be creating a bedtime routine of reading a Bible, maybe coloring, maybe having a nice hot cup of tea, creating a routine for yourself that you and only you, that's your safe space. Now, that is one thing that I know I have to work on. I have done that in the past, but I have not stuck to those consistently. Some routines that I create for myself to give me peace prior to bedtime is reading my Bible. I have colored in the past, and I've also drank a hot cup of tea, or I have just sat in my bed, the lights off, and just deep breathing. But you have to find what is peaceful for you. And those things might change as you mature in recognizing what is needed for yourself to become better. But you have to cultivate that life and keep that as a sacred space for you. Now, if that means locking your bedroom door to keep your kids out, do it. My girls do not give me a single moment of peace. And so I have to say, my boundary. This is my boundary. Please give me my time. I need it. And they're like, ugh, because mama is always supposed to be available, right? And I am, but however, I need my time too. So, new year, same me, just more grace and set more realistic goals for yourself. Goals are things that you can achieve. We have a set time and date by which we want to achieve those things. We also say I'm going from 0 to whatever to set those goals. Something else, reading. Reading has always been a safe space for me. I love, 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 love to read. I've gone from the actual physical books to going to my Kindle. Reading has taken me places I've never physically gone before, but I love to read a good book. Any genre, from romance to thriller, sci-fi, reading is just what I love. So when you find what you love, you can create a goal around that. I want to increase the amount of books I read per month. I'm going to say, maybe I will go from reading about 2 to 3 books, maybe about 4 or 5 a month. And we'll see how that goes. But you have to create something that is realistic for yourself. I'm a reader. So for me, that's not hard to do. I do watch TV, but most of the times on the weekends because whatever, I can do without. But set something that is best for you. So to wrap this all up, you need to start off your year with good energy, with a good goal / resolution, and work on self-care. Work on you. When you water yourself, you're able to water everyone else that's around you. All right. So I cannot wait to see y'all next week. I'm Shanika. The podcast is called She Reigns. And you can always find me here every single Sunday. Real conversations, relatable topics, all about growth. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to email me at shereignspodcast@gmail.com. I'll answer your questions there. Remember, take a breath, say a prayer, fix your crown because you're built for the chaos.